Greetings, good people. It is Dr. V, and I am checking in with a post teaching reflection. So here it is now, approximately 6:50. So that means that I actually stayed after class with some students for almost an hour, just an hour, just talking about their individual research questions or research topics, as well as their use of a theoretical framework to inform their research projects. So we went through what is a theoretical framework, and not so much what is a theoretical framework, but how does their theoretical frameworks justify their use of their methodology, their respective methodology or methodologies. But in this case, I'm actually checking in really quickly for this vlog or this teaching reflection because I spent this time, right? I stayed after not to reteach them anything about theories or theoretical frameworks or even methodologies. But what I was trying to do is to embody this practice of getting our graduate students, especially in a post-pandemic climate, a post-Zoom climate, just getting them used to being in community with other scholars. So I cannot emphasize enough the importance of graduate students, or even practitioners, but any scholars or creative people for that matter, but really our graduate students having the opportunity to spend time with faculty, just, sitting, chit-chatting, also talking to others, research graduate students about their research. My dog is whiny. I think the dogs are tired of me teaching and talking about research, but getting the students just used to being with each other, like providing space making, creating a intellectual and creative community that's really grounded, for me anyway, in culture, right? In critical pedagogy culture. And so they get to see me be me. They get to see me talking to the dogs. They get to see me like yelling across the house. But I think more importantly, like we stayed after an hour because just in the mundane, just in talking about, oh, what's your research topic? How did you come across that topic, or how did you come to choose that topic? Are you sure this topic is for you? Or can you tell me about this source? We were actually able to find out more about who the students were individually, as individuals, their cultural backgrounds, how their cultural backgrounds are relevant to who they are as researchers, as graduate students. Furthermore, it's like after 10-15 minutes, right, of teaching, I'm not focused on this topic, right? Tell me about your methodology and how your theoretical framework informs your methodology. I think even more importantly, after 10 or 15 minutes, and I kind of come down and I'm more relaxed, I'm not worried about pushing the curriculum or pushing concepts onto them, I began to like grab books off my shelves, right? Like literally grabbing books off my shelf, like, hey, you want to read this? Hey, how about this? You need to read this one too, right? So it wasn't just about me trying to convey certain concepts or certain ideas. It wasn't me performing, this role of who is a researcher or who's your research professor, right? Yeah, I'm doing all that neck rolling. But even more importantly, it was signifying and representing and embodying this idea of, hey, if this was pre-pandemic, if this was like the commodification of knowledge, right? The neoliberalism in education, we would have been spending more time like just sitting with each other as a learning community. I remember when I was in college, in grad school, we would like go to the professors' houses. We would have barbecue, right? We would play games. We would listen to good music, right? We would meet the faculty children, and I'm sure some people are still doing that. I'm sure, but it's just more difficult to do it now in this world of technology, right? It's more difficult to do it when our grad students are like in Zoom rooms, or it's more difficult because people have real life health concerns, right? And now in this climate, feelings of safety, especially in a night class. It's a lot going on. So, but nonetheless, I guess my reflection for today is graduate students, is really, really important to situate yourself in a larger research community, writing community, creativity community. So even in these books that I was like citing, or articles that I'm pulling for them, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, so I know them, right? So I'm calling certain scholars, certain professors, certain researchers by name, like, oh yeah, no, so when we were chilling together, or when we're talking about this around a dinner table, or we're going to this little get together, whatever. But then I wanted them to realize, man, like everybody is almost connected in this intellectual community. At some point, we're breaking bread together, right? At some point, we're sharing other parts of our lives, our personal lives together. And I just don't want this new cohort or this new generation of graduate students to be robbed of those intellectual connections, those scholarly opportunities to become a part of a family, right? So me and other scholars, obviously one is Dr. Esposito, right? We're family. There's so many more that have inspired me. Cheryl, right? Cheryl Matias, family. Dr. Kakali, right? We're family. And it's many. I don't want to start naming everybody. About who we spend time with, but you start seeing that people are interconnected, not only intellectually but also personally, right? On a spiritual, in a spiritual sense, in a cultural sense. Like we're sister girls, like we're homies, right? We're friends, and I want our generation of our next generation of scholars, graduates, current graduate students, to have that same feeling of belonging and being connected to a larger sibling, cousin intellectual family. All right, so that was the message for today. So to my graduate students, I will continue to hang out with you all during the after party, where we can talk more about how our personal lives intersect with our scholarship, or even just be, right? So that you all can have the opportunity to grow your own intellectual family over the next few years, decades to come. All right, so again, I apologize if I name drop, but I just wanted to provide examples of people who are connected in many ways, in multiple ways, over time and over spaces. All right.